A black girl from the projects thinks she can steal from us. Who gave you permission to be here?" Officer Mark Thompson held up a photo of a black woman in military uniform. He laughed, showing the crowd. "My mom is a colonel, another hood rat making up lies." He ripped the photo in half, then again. "That is my mom." "Shut up!" Thompson grabbed her collar. "Black trash like you don't get to come to this side of town. You don't belong here and you don't lie to my face." He twisted her arm behind her back. Karen Whitaker, Diamonds Designer Clothes, nodded. "Put these animals where they belong. 50 phones filming. 0 people helping." Then silence. A thunderous roar. Military helicopter getting louder. Thompson looked up. His smile died. Descending was a combat helicopter. In the door, a black woman in tactical gear, silver colonel insignia gleaming. The same woman from the torn photo. They assumed a black child had no right to be there. They assumed her colonel mother was fake. They assumed wrong. That cop prison, that racist. $500,000 lost. Comment your thoughts. Like to see this colonel destroy everyone who touched her daughter. Subscribe for more justice stories. Here's how it started. The sun rose over Brookside as Colonel Angela Thompson checked her tactical gear. At 38, she carried herself with the quiet confidence of 20 years military service. Her uniform was crisp, boots polished to mirror shine, silver oak leaves catching the morning light streaming through the kitchen window. At the table, Maya picked at her breakfast, scrambled eggs she'd made herself, trying to be helpful. 12 years old, she'd inherited her mother's determined chin and deep brown eyes, though right now those eyes were clouded with disappointment. "Fort Jackson is 50 miles north," Angela explained, her voice gentle. "Emergency training exercise." One of the senior officers called in sick. "I should be back by 5, 6 at the latest." Maya nodded, pushing eggs around her plate. "That's okay, Mom. I know your job is important." Angela sat across from her daughter, giving her full attention. She'd learned to read Maya's moods like mission briefings, carefully looking for what wasn't being said. "Talk to me, baby. What's going on in that head of yours?" Maya looked up, torn between wanting to be mature and needing her mom around. "I was going to Eastwood Mall today, remember? I've been saving for your birthday present. $150. I counted it 3 times last night. I was going to surprise you." Angela's heart clenched with that particular mixture of love and pride only parents understand. 6 months of saving, $5 a week from helping Mrs. Lee with her garden, extra chores, birthday money carefully tucked away. Every dollar earned, every dollar meaningful. "Baby, that's incredibly sweet. But are you sure about going alone? I could reschedule?" "Mom, no." Maya's jaw set stubbornly. "Pure Thompson DNA. Your job training those soldiers is important. They need you." "And I'm 12 now. I can handle a shopping trip." Angela studied her daughter's face, seeing determination mixed with a need to prove herself. She understood that need intimately. She'd felt it at every stage of her career. The need to show she belonged, that being young or female or black wouldn't stop her from succeeding. But the mother in her hesitated. The world wasn't always kind to young black girls, even in seemingly safe places like shopping malls. Angela unclasped her military ID bracelet, brushed steel, government issue, engraved with her name, rank, and service number. Years of wear had smoothed it, made it warm to touch. "Take this," Angela said, fastening it around Maya's slender wrist. It hung loose, too big, sliding toward her hand. "If anything happens, anything at all, you show this and call me immediately. You have that right. It's not just a mom thing. It's legal. Minors can contact their guardians. Do you understand?" Maya nodded solemnly, touching the bracelet. It felt heavy, important, like a talisman. Angela pulled her daughter into a tight embrace, breathing in coconut shampoo mixed with lavender detergent. "Remember what I always tell you. Say it with me. Together, voices blending from years of repetition. I am strong, I am smart, and I am worthy of respect. That's right, Angela said. You're worthy of respect not because of what you do, but because you're a human being. Don't let anyone make you feel otherwise. Not ever. Maya hesitated. Mom, some kids at school say stuff about how you think you're better because you're in the army. Emily's mom said it's inappropriate for you to wear your uniform to pickup. Emily asked if you're really a colonel or just pretending. Angela felt familiar tightness in her chest, exhaustion at having this conversation again. People will always have opinions. Some can't see past skin color to recognize accomplishments. They're used to seeing power look a certain way. When it looks like you or me, they can't accept it. So they use words like uppity or inappropriate because the truth doesn't fit their worldview. But it's not fair. No, it's not. I wish I could say if you work hard enough, follow all the rules, people will treat you fairly, but sometimes they'll judge you before knowing you. Make assumptions based on prejudices they don't even know they have. Angela took Maya's hands. What matters is that you know who you are. Stand up for yourself, but be smart. Pick your battles. And if it gets too much, she tapped the bracelet. You call me. I don't care where I am or what I'm doing. You call and I will move heaven and earth to get to you. I will, Mom, I promise. An hour later, Angela was in a Blackhawk heading to Fort Jackson, unaware she'd need to keep that promise sooner than either imagined. The number 7 bus was half empty when Maya boarded at 10:15 a.m. She chose a middle seat, not too forward, not too back, and pulled out her library book about the Tuskegee Airmen, a thick tome about black pilots who'd fought despite facing prejudice from their own military. 3 pages into a chapter about combat missions over Italy, she felt it. That prickling awareness of being watched. Across the aisle, 2 rows forward sat a white woman in her 60s. Pearl necklace, designer handbag, blue blazer. Despite summer heat, the woman stared at Maya with an expression impossible to ignore. Not curiosity, not friendliness, something else that made Maya's stomach twist. Maya offered a polite smile. The woman didn't smile back, just kept staring, eyes moving from Maya's face to her backpack to her book and back. Then her hand moved unconsciously, clutching her purse tighter against her chest. Maya looked back at her book, trying to focus, but the words swam meaningless. The prickling intensified movement. The woman stood, gathered her things, and moved 3 rows back as far from Maya as possible. She repositioned her purse, wrapping both arms around it protectively. The message was clear, humiliating. Heat rose in Maya's cheeks. She wanted to say something, call out the unfairness. But what would she say? The woman would deny it, make excuses, or worse, say exactly what she was thinking. You people. She'd heard that phrase before, always with a particular inflection, sometimes followed by, you people are always, or you people never, but the core message was the same. You don't belong. You're other. You're less. An older man reading a newspaper noticed, looked up, went back to his paper without comment. A young woman with earbuds witnessed it, quickly looked away, suddenly fascinated by her phone. No one said anything. No one intervened. The silence of complicity was almost as loud as the accusation. Maya touched the bracelet under her sleeve, drawing strength. She closed her eyes and whispered, I am strong. I am smart. I am worthy of respect. 3 times like a prayer, until breathing steadied, and burning behind her eyes subsided. When the bus reached Eastwood Mall, Maya stood with dignity, walked past the woman, who deliberately looked out the window, and exited into bright sunshine. It wasn't the first time. It wouldn't be the last. But today she had a mission. She was going to buy her mother a birthday present. She just had to get through the next few hours. Automatic doors whooshed open with Arctic air conditioning, relief from heat climbing into the 80s. Maya stepped into the main concourse and oriented herself. The mall was moderately busy. Retirees speed walking in groups, young mothers with strollers, teenagers clustering near the food court with careless laughter. Maya consulted the directory. Eastwood Fine Jewelry, 2nd floor, near Macy's entrance C. She'd done her research. Last night she'd browsed their website. The Everyday Elegance line seemed promising. She'd bookmarked 3 possibilities: a silver bracelet with star charm, $140, a moonstone pendant, $138, or simple earrings with tiny diamonds, $152. All just within budget, all things her mom would wear. She started toward the escalator, sneakers squeaking on polished tile. That's when she noticed him. Robert Jenkins, name visible on his belt tag, was a heavy-set white man in his early 50s with a salt and pepper mustache. Mall's safety supervisor embroidered on his dark blue uniform. He'd been standing near the directory, radio in hand, scanning with vigilance. The moment Maya stepped onto the escalator, Robert Jenkins stepped on too. Not obviously following, not in a way anyone else would notice. He maintained 20 FT distance, far enough to seem coincidental, close enough to keep her in sight. Her mother's words from 2 years ago echoed. Some people will see you differently because of skin color. Security guards might follow you in stores. It's not right. But until we change the system, you need to be aware. At the time, Maya thought her mom was being overly cautious. Now she understood. She reached 2nd floor and paused at a bookstore window, looking at new releases. In the reflection, Robert Jenkins stopped too, suddenly interested in a directory he'd certainly memorized. She continued walking. Robert followed. Near the food court, 3 white teenagers roughhoused loudly, one nearly knocking over an elderly couple. The boy turned, still laughing. Oh, sorry. His friends pulled him away. Robert Jenkins didn't even glance at them. His attention stayed locked on Maya. The disparity was obvious, blatant. Those teenagers had actually disrupted something and got nothing. She was just walking, just existing, and had a security guard tracking every move. But she kept walking head high, touching the bracelet for courage. She had every right to be here. She had money. She had a plan. Eastwood Fine Jewelry was ahead. Gold-lettered sign against dark wood, display windows showcasing pieces that caught light like captured starlight. Maya took a breath and walked through the entrance. Robert Jenkins stopped outside, positioned where he could see through the glass, and waited. Karen Whitaker, 52, considered herself a woman of refined taste and unquestionable standing. Brookside Heights resident, country club member, 3 charity boards. Her husband, Jeffrey, was a successful attorney. Daughter Emily attended Brookside Academy. Karen had cultivated sophistication through Botox, personal trainer, standing Thursday hair appointments, and a shopping budget many would consider an annual income. She knew quality. She knew service. She absolutely knew when she wasn't getting the attention she deserved. When she swept into Eastwood Fine Jewelry at 11:01 a.m., she expected immediate attention. The store was tastefully appointed. Thick carpet, soft lighting, making jewelry sparkle. Classical music background. "Excuse me?" Karen called out immediately, not waiting for greeting. "I called ahead about the diamond necklace, the one in the window with the platinum setting." "I'd like to see it now, please." Sophia Ramirez looked up from arranging engagement rings. At 25, 2 years at this store had taught her that Karen Whitaker was exhausting, condescending, demanding, treating Sophia as the help rather than a trained professional with a gemology certificate. Of course, Mrs. Whitaker right away. Karen came in every few months, spent thousands, and always made it exhausting. She'd send Sophia running for different pieces, try on everything, complain about prices she could afford, generally treat the store like her personal showroom. But she spent money. And Brian Caldwell, the store manager, had made clear. VIP customers get whatever they want, whenever they want it. As Sophia moved toward the window display to retrieve the necklace, 3-carat diamond pendant in platinum, $3,500, the door chimed. A young black girl stood in the doorway with hopeful eyes, maybe 12, wearing clean but inexpensive clothes. Target jeans, faded t-shirt, practical sneakers, small backpack worn at corners. But her expression was pure hopefulness. Excitement mixed with nervous anticipation. Karen noticed. Her body language shifted, shoulders tensed, hand moved to clutch her purse protectively. "Excuse me?" "I was here first," Karen said sharply, voice cutting across soft music loud enough the girl couldn't miss it. "Can you help me before you get distracted?" The dismissal was clear. The girl wasn't a customer. She was a distraction. Sophia felt her stomach sink, familiar frustration and powerlessness watching discrimination happen while knowing speaking up could cost her job. "Of course, Mrs. Whitaker," then warmly to the girl. "I'll be right with you, sweetheart. Feel free to look around." The girl, Maya, though Karen didn't know or care about her name, nodded shyly and wandered to a display case 15 FT away. It contained modestly priced items, simple bracelets, small pendants, delicate chains, the $100, $200 range, things a 12-year-old could afford. Karen watched with narrowed eyes, tracking movements like a hawk tracks prey. In Karen's mind, the narrative was already writing itself. Young girl alone, inexpensive clothes, looking at jewelry she probably couldn't afford. She'd seen news reports, read articles about shoplifting rings, juvenile delinquents, urban problems spreading to nice neighborhoods. She knew, or thought she knew, exactly how this would end. 20 years ago, Angela Thompson had been 18, watching her brother Justin get slammed against a police car hood during a routine traffic stop. Justin, 21, never arrested, no speeding tickets. He drove a meticulously maintained 15-year-old Honda Civic he'd bought with mechanic shop earnings. Officer Dale Richardson claimed Justin's car matched a robbery description. Dark sedan, possibly driven by a black male, mid-20s. That description could have matched thousands of cars, but it matched Justin's skin color. Angela had been in the passenger seat. She watched everything unfold like a nightmare. "Sir, I'm reaching for my license. Hands on the hood now." "I'm complying, sir." The sound of her brother's body hitting metal would haunt Angela forever. The casual cruelty. This is what happens when you people don't follow instructions. Justin had followed every instruction, kept hands visible, spoke respectfully, did everything their parents taught them about surviving police encounters. It didn't matter. By the end, broken collarbone, 3 cracked ribs, concussion, criminal record for resisting arrest. Complete fabrications. Angela screamed from the car, tried recording on her flip phone before it was confiscated. She begged them to stop. They threatened to arrest her for interfering. The case went to court. Justin's overworked public defender tried his best. They had witnesses, inconsistencies in the police report, medical evidence showing assault. None of it mattered. The judge ruled the officer acted appropriately. Charges dropped for lack of evidence, but Justin's arrest record remained. That arrest followed him everywhere. Job applications. "Have you been arrested?" "Yes." Rejected. Apartment applications. Background check showed the arrest. Denied. Angela watched her brother's light dim. Watched him struggle with depression, anger, bitter knowledge that the system was rigged. Justin died 3 years ago, heart attack at 38. The death certificate said cardiac arrest, but Angela knew better. It was accumulated stress, doors constantly slamming, knowing one officer's prejudice destroyed his trajectory. Angela joined the Army a month after Justin's case was dismissed. Not from patriotism, but from desperate need to understand power, how it worked, who held it, how to fight those who abused it. The military taught her discipline, strategy, leadership. She excelled, passed every exam, earned every promotion, but the Army didn't teach her what she needed most. So Angela taught herself. Between deployments, she studied law, constitutional law, civil rights legislation, military justice. She befriended JAG lawyers, attended lectures, read every textbook and case summary she could find. She wanted to know every rule, every loophole, every protection. She wanted to understand the system intimately enough to manipulate it, use it, weaponize it against those who thought they were untouchable. She'd made a promise over Justin's grave. If she ever had children, they would never be as powerless. They would have someone who understood the system, who could fight from within, who had rank to make people listen. Colonel Angela Thompson wasn't just a soldier. She was a weapon forged from injustice, sharpened by knowledge, aimed at a system that desperately needed to change. Today, 50 miles away at Fort Jackson, that weapon was about to be deployed. Maya had been in Eastwood Fine Jewelry 12 minutes when she finally approached the counter. She'd spent that time examining a silver bracelet with a small star charm, $145, perfect for her mom, who loved astronomy. The star was small enough to be subtle, large enough to catch light. Her mother loved sitting on their porch pointing out constellations, telling stories about ancient Greeks and Romans who'd named them. This bracelet would be perfect. "Excuse me," Maya said softly to Sophia, who'd finished with Karen's endless examination. "Could I see this one, please?" The bracelet with the star. Sophia's smile transformed her face with genuine warmth. Finally, a polite customer who waited patiently said, "Please, like her parents taught manners." "Of course, sweetheart. That's a beautiful choice. Let me grab the key." "Thank you so much." Maya's voice brightened with anticipation. This was going well. Perfect gift, enough money, home before mom, everything working out. Behind the counter, Karen was finishing her transaction. She decided on the diamond necklace. $3,500 barely haggled. While Sophia processed her credit card, Karen removed her own jewelry, diamond earrings, and matching bracelet, and set them on the counter. This was habit when trying on new pieces. She liked seeing how new jewelry looked without competition. The diamond bracelet glittered under lights, easily worth $8,000, purchased last year after Jeffrey forgot their anniversary. Again, Sophia completed the transaction efficiently, boxing the necklace in signature packaging. Black box with gold trim, tissue paper, small shopping bag with rope handles. "Here you are, Mrs. Whitaker. Thank you for your purchase." "Thank you," Karen said absently, gathering things. Phone, sunglasses, the boxed necklace, car keys with Mercedes logo. She picked up her earrings and put them back on, then clearly visible on security camera recording everything, though no one was watching the feed because Brian Caldwell was doing inventory in back. Karen picked up her diamond bracelet from the counter and dropped it into her designer handbag. Timestamp 11 hours, 16 minutes, and 23 seconds a.m. Karen Whitaker walked out at 11 hours, 16 minutes, and 45 seconds a.m., heels clicking on tile, already thinking about her next errand. Inside, Maya approached the counter. "Is it okay if I look at that bracelet now?" "Absolutely. You've been so patient." Sophia unlocked the display case, carefully removing the silver bracelet, placing it on velvet so Maya could examine it. "This is such a sweet piece. Is it for someone special?" Maya's face lit up. "For my mom. Her birthday is next week, and she's always showing me constellations." The door burst open with such force, the elegant chimes jangled harshly. Karen Whitaker stormed back in, face flushed red, eyes wild with panic-anger mix, perfectly styled, hair slightly disheveled. Wait, stop, where is it? Sophia and Maya froze, shared joy evaporating instantly. Mrs. Whitaker, Sophia said carefully. Is everything all right? My bracelet. Karen's voice climbed higher, taking on hysterical edge. I had a diamond bracelet right here on this counter. Now it's gone. Where is it? Sophia blinked, mind racing through the last 15 minutes. Ma'am, I gave you back all your jewelry. I watched you put everything in your purse. No. Karen shook her head violently, pearl earrings swinging. I didn't. I wouldn't have. That bracelet is worth $8,000. I would never have just put it in my purse. Someone took it. Someone must have. She pulled items from her purse with frantic movements, dumping contents on the counter. Wallet, phone, sunglasses, lipstick, keys, tissues, receipts, including the one from moments ago. Antibacterial wipes, breath mints, compact mirror, no bracelet. Karen's eyes, slightly wild, scanned counter floor, then landed on Maya. It was here when she walked in. The emphasis carried volumes of accusation. She pointed at Maya with trembling finger. That girl, she must have taken it. Check her bag. I'm not leaving until you check her bag. Maya felt the world tilt. What? No, I didn't. I haven't even been near the counter. I've been standing over there. She pointed desperately toward the far display. I didn't take anything. Check her bag. Why are you standing there? Check it now. If she didn't take it, she won't mind showing us. Sophia looked between Karen and Maya, 12-year-old who'd been nothing but polite and VIP customer who spent thousands yearly, whose business literally helped pay Sophia's salary, who could get Sophia fired with one phone call. Sophia saw what happened, had seen Karen pick up that bracelet. But Karen was so certain, so insistent, and doubt was powerful. Mrs. Whitaker, I really don't think. The office door opened. Brian Caldwell emerged, drawn by raised voices. 35, store manager, 3 years. He'd learned success meant keeping customers happy, avoiding difficult moral judgments. He assessed quickly. Karen agitated. Young black girl terrified, Sophia conflicted. Brian made his decision in 3 seconds. 3 seconds that would haunt him later. What's the problem? That girl stole my diamond bracelet, Karen said immediately. Righteous certainty of someone never questioned. It was on the counter when she walked in. Now it's gone. And she's the only other person here. The only one. Brian's eyes moved to Maya. He saw age, 12, maybe 13, clothes, Target, nothing designer, clean but worn, backpack standard school issue, worn corners, face, dark skin, fear and eyes, tears threatening. None registered as important. What registered? Upset VIP customer plus serious accusation plus potential grand theft equals problem equals need to resolve quickly. Miss, Brian said, voice trying for authoritative, but landing apologetic. I need you to show me what's in your bag. The floor dropped out. I didn't take anything, Maya said, voice small now, stripped of confidence. I haven't touched anything except that bracelet. She pointed shakily toward the star charm display. Ask her. Ask Sophia. She saw me. I was over there the whole time. Brian looked at Sophia impatiently. Did you see what happened? Sophia's voice strained, torn. I was helping Mrs. Whitaker. Maya was standing by the far display the whole time. I didn't see her come near the counter. But were you watching her every single second? Brian pressed, wanting a specific answer that would absolve him. Every moment? Well, I was focused on the transaction, so no. But then we can't be certain. Brian turned to Maya, expression trying for sympathy, but mostly looking like he'd already decided. Miss, I'm sure this is a misunderstanding. If you show us what's in your bag, we can clear this up. Your bag, please. Maya wanted to refuse, to demand cameras first, to call her mom now. But she was 12, alone, facing authority figures, staring like she was guilty until proven innocent. She'd been raised to respect authority, cooperate with adults, not make trouble. With hands shaking so badly she almost couldn't work the zipper, Maya unzipped her backpack. One by one, she removed contents, laying each item out. Library book about Tuskegee Airmen, plastic cover worn, 3 blue pens, school required, wallet, simple black nylon with rainbow zipper. She opened it with trembling fingers. 150. 520s in one compartment, 510s in another, all facing same direction. Half-eaten granola bar and crumpled wrapper. Phone, older iPhone that had been her mother's hair elastics and plastic container. Pack of tissues and the bracelet. Her mother's military ID bracelet, which she'd taken off to keep safe. It sat there, brushed steel catching light, engraving clearly visible. Angela Thompson, 06, U.S. Army. Brian picked it up, examined briefly with skepticism. "What's this?" "It's my mom's. She's a colonel in the Army. She gave it to me this morning, but I took it off because it's too big. But look, it has her name, her rank, her service number. You can verify it. You can call Fort Jackson where she's working today." Brian set it down dismissively. "Okay, anything else?" Maya turned the backpack upside down, shaking. Crumbs fell out. A used tissue, a broken pencil, small eraser, nothing else. "There," Maya said, tears running down her face now. "See, I didn't take anything. Can I please just go?" But Karen wasn't satisfied, face red. Now she hid it somewhere else. "Check her pockets, her clothes." "Ma'am," Sophia protested, frustration showing. "I don't think I want security called," Karen demanded. "Right now, if you won't handle this, I'll call the police myself." She pulled out her phone. "Mrs. Whitaker." Brian tried to sound reasonable while panicking internally. "Let's not escalate." "Escalate? She stole $8,000. That's grand theft. That's a felony. I'm calling the police." Karen began dialing. Brian reached for his phone. "I'll call Mall Security too, just to be safe." Maya felt like drowning. "I want to call my mother, please." Karen laughed harshly. "Oh, I'm sure you do. What's she going to tell you?" "Another lie?" "My mom is a colonel in the U.S. Army. She's at Fort Jackson. If you just let me call her." "Sure she is," Karen sneered. "And I'm the Queen of England. You people always have some story. You people out in the open now. Undeniable." Sophia flinched. Brian looked uncomfortable, but neither challenged Karen. That silence hurt almost as much as the accusation. "I didn't take anything," Maya said, voice stronger. "You have no proof. I know my rights." Brian and Karen exchanged a look. They weren't letting a 12-year-old lecture them. "We'll let the police sort this out," Brian said. "Nobody's going anywhere." Robert Jenkins arrived within 5 minutes, assessed the situation. Karen upset. Young black girl terrified, and immediately radioed police. This is beyond mall security. When Officer Mark Thompson walked through the door at 11:43 a.m., he'd already decided how this would end. 45 years old, 18 years on the force, 12 official excessive force complaints. Complaints that disappeared through informal resolutions and quiet settlements. Young black kid in expensive store. White woman accusing. His mental flowchart produced probable guilty. "All right. What's going on?" Karen launched into her version, speaking quickly, gesticulating wildly. Thompson's eyes moved to Maya. Small, scared. But fear wasn't evidence of innocence. Guilty people acted scared all the time. "What's your name, kid?" "Maya Thompson, sir." "I didn't take anything. You can check cameras. Ask her," pointing at Sophia. "Please." "I didn't do anything wrong." Thompson barely glanced at Sophia. "Where are your parents?" This was it. "My mom is Colonel Angela Thompson, United States Army. Sir, she's at Fort Jackson on a training mission, 50 miles north. She gave me her military ID bracelet. It's right there. It has her name, rank, service number. You can verify everything. Please just call her." Thompson's lip curled slightly. Amusement or contempt? "Colonel, huh? Too busy saving the world to supervise her kid?" The mockery was unmistakable. "She's not." "I didn't." Maya stumbled over words, carefully prepared explanation crumbling. "Look, kid, I've heard every story. My dad's a lawyer. My mom's a doctor. My uncle's the chief. Kids lie when they're caught. I've been doing this 20 years. I can tell when someone's lying. And you're lying." "I'm not lying. Look at the bracelet. It has her name engraved. You can call the army. You can verify." Thompson picked up the bracelet, held it up for maybe 2 seconds, set it down dismissively. "Kid, you can buy these online for $20, Amazon, eBay, wherever. They'll engrave whatever you want. This proves nothing." Sophia found her voice. "Officer, I was here the entire time. I had line of sight to where Maya was. She was on the other side of the store, at least 15 feet away. I didn't see her come near the counter." Thompson turned to Sophia with barely concealed irritation. "Were you watching her every single second?" "Well, no, but then you can't be sure. Professional shoplifters are fast. That's how they operate. He just called a 12-year-old a professional shoplifter." Thompson turned to Karen, voice completely different, respectful, solicitous. "Ma'am, I need you to file a formal report. We take theft very seriously. Grand theft is a felony." "Absolutely," Karen said, vindicated. "I want her arrested. I want charges filed. These people need to learn there are consequences. These people again." No one flinched anymore. Thompson pulled out handcuffs. "All right, kid, let's go. You're coming to the station." "No, wait. You can't arrest me. You haven't looked at cameras. You haven't investigated. I have rights. Miranda rights. I have the right to call my mother. I know my rights." She'd heard her mother say those words countless times, teaching about constitutional protections. But Thompson didn't appreciate being educated by a 12-year-old black girl. His jaw tightened. "Let's go. You can explain yourself at the station." What happened next would be captured on 6 different phones, posted to social media within minutes, viewed by millions within hours. Maya didn't resist. She simply stood her ground, voice rising with desperation, but body completely still. "Sir, please. I'm not resisting. I'm just asking to call my mother first. Under my rights, I can make a phone call. My mom told me I have that right. Please!" Her voice cracked, tears streaming, terrified, humiliated, desperate for the one person who would believe her. "You don't have rights until I say you do," Thompson said flatly. "Stop resisting and come with me. I'm not resisting. I'm just standing here. I'm just asking to call my mom. That's not resisting." It was true. She was standing still, both hands visible, empty, no threatening movements, not lunging, not running, not aggressive, just a 12-year-old girl asking for her mother. But Thompson saw resistance, or saw opportunity to assert authority. He put his hand on Maya's shoulder, not gently, fingers digging in hard enough to leave marks, and then he shoved hard. With full weight of a 190-lb adult, Maya's feet couldn't maintain traction. Her legs gave out. She fell, knees hitting concrete with a sickening crack that made several people gasp. Her palms scraped ground as she tried to catch herself, leaving blood smears. Her backpack went flying, content scattering. For one heartbeat, absolute silence, then murmurs, some shocked, some critical, all witnessing. "Get up," Thompson commanded loudly. "You're under arrest for theft and resisting an officer. I didn't resist." Maya gasped through tears and pain, still on the ground, knee throbbing, blood soaking through jeans. "I was just standing there. I just wanted to call my mom." Thompson grabbed her wrist, yanked it behind her back. The handcuff clicked closed. Maya instinctively tried to adjust, and Thompson grabbed her other arm, forcing it back with excessive pressure. The second cuff clicked so tight it left immediate red marks. "Stop fighting me," Thompson said loudly for the crowd, creating a narrative that didn't match reality. But Maya wasn't fighting. She was crying in pain, scared but not resisting. "Please, I just want my mom." In her pocket, front right, still accessible despite handcuffs if she twisted. Her phone was there. The emergency button her mother had programmed. "If you ever need me, really need me, you press this button 3 times fast. It'll call automatically. Start recording. Send GPS location." Maya, shaking hand, reached into her pocket, found the phone, found the button, pressed 3 times fast. The phone connected immediately. 50 mi away. Angela's emergency line rang with unmistakable klaxon tone. She grabbed it, already moving. "Maya, baby, what's wrong?" The sound, her daughter sobbing, terrified, made Angela's blood run cold. "Mom, please! They're arresting me. I didn't do anything. I just wanted to buy you a birthday present." "Please, Mom." Angela was already running toward the command center. Maya, deep breaths. "Where are you? What's happening?" Another voice cut in. Male, dismissive. "Ma'am, your daughter is being charged with theft and resisting arrest. You need to come to Brookside Police Station." Angela's demeanor changed completely. Worried mother vanished, replaced by military command. "Who is this?" "Officer Mark Thompson, Brookside PD. Badge number." "Excuse me, badge number now." Thompson responded automatically. "Badge 284-1. Officer Thompson, I am Colonel Angela Thompson, United States Army. That is my daughter. What probable cause do you have for her arrest?" Thompson tried to assert authority. "Ma'am, your daughter was accused of stealing an $8,000 bracelet. Accused by whom? On what evidence? A witness?" Singular. "Did you review security footage? Did you find stolen property? Did you read Miranda rights? Did you allow guardian contact? Did you use physical force on a compliant minor?" Silence. Angela's voice dropped below freezing. "I'm 15 minutes out. Fort Jackson is 50 muai from Brookside, but I'm commandeering military air transport. I will be there in 15 minutes. If you touch my daughter again, if you move her, if you fail to provide medical attention, I will have you up on federal charges for violating civil rights of a military dependent under Title 10 USC Section 1408. Do you understand, lady? I don't care who you think you are. Badge 2841, you will." The call ended. Thompson stared at his phone, unease creeping in, but he pushed it away. Just another angry parent making empty threats. He turned to Karen. "Ma'am, we'll need your statement in writing." Maya sat on the curb, handcuffed, bleeding, humiliated. People walked by, some sympathetic, none helping, some filmed, turning trauma into content. Some stared with judgment. She whispered, "I am strong, I am smart, I am worthy of respect," 3 times like a lifeline. 15 minutes felt eternal. Maya sat bleeding, handcuffs digging in, shoulders at unnatural angle, making muscles ache. Blood soaked through jeans, dripping into her sock. Sun beat down, making her dizzy. The crowd had grown to 50+ people, all watching, all filming. Karen was filming another TikTok. So here's an update. I was shopping for charity. I do a lot of charity work. And this girl tried to steal my bracelet. This is what's wrong with society. No values, no consequences. Parents aren't teaching children properly anymore. A voice from the crowd. That's not what happened. Everyone turned. Michael Hayes, 40, black man and business casual, stepped forward. "I was here. I saw everything. That girl never touched your jewelry. And that cop pushed a 12-year-old for asking to call her mother. I recorded it." Karen's face flushed. "You don't know what you're talking about." "I saw enough," Michael said firmly. "I saw excessive force on a compliant minor. I recorded all of it." Thompson walked toward Michael, intimidating. "Sir, Step back and let me do my job. I'm not interfering. I'm a witness. That child wasn't resisting. She was asking for her rights, and you assaulted her. Sir, step back now or I'll arrest you for obstruction. Obstruction? I'm a witness? Thompson moved toward Michael, hand toward handcuffs. The threat was clear. Michael held ground for 3 heartbeats, then reluctantly stepped back, but kept recording. Other voices joined. Elena Martinez. That's the same officer who arrested my nephew last year for loitering. He was waiting for the bus after work. A young black woman. He stopped my boyfriend for matching a description, held him for an hour, an elderly white man. I saw him push that girl. It seemed excessive. She's just a kid. The crowd divided. Those believing Maya guilty and Thompson justified. Those believing this was abuse of power. Thompson felt pressure from watching eyes, recording phones, voices questioning his authority. He radioed Unit 2841, juvenile suspect in custody at Eastwood Mall, requesting backup and transport. 104, transport en route. ETA 8 minutes. 8 minutes until this girl was off his hands. That's when the sound started. Distant, growing louder. The rhythmic thumping of helicopter blades. People began looking up. This sounded different. Military Blackhawk based on rotor pattern. Maya opened her swollen eyes, tilting her head back. A small, pained but real smile crossed her face. Fresh tears. These ones different. Tears of hope. "Mom's here," she whispered. Thompson looked up at the sky and felt for the first time real doubt, because that was a Blackhawk military helicopter, and it was heading straight for them. The Blackhawk appeared over Eastwood Mall like something from an action movie. For the 200-plus people gathered, it might as well have been fiction. Military helicopters didn't just land at shopping malls, except when they did. Captain Ramirez set it down in the parking lot with precision born from years setting down in hostile territory. Wind from rotors sent bags tumbling, forced everyone to shield eyes, set off cascading car alarms. It was loud, dramatic, impossible to ignore. Every phone pointed up, capturing what would go viral within hours. The helicopter touched down. The door opened. Colonel Angela Thompson stepped out. Full combat uniform, desert camouflage from recent deployments, tactical vest with rank insignia clearly visible, combat boots that had walked through war zones. Her bearing was military perfect, shoulders back, chin up, every movement conveying authority, but her face made people step back, cold, controlled, furious. Behind her, Captain Ramirez, military police vest clearly marked, Lieutenant Carter from JAG Corps, tablet already in hand. The effect was instantaneous. Angela strode across the parking lot with purpose that made people clear a path. Her eyes swept the scene. Crowd, Karen with arms crossed, Brian hovering, Robert looking terrified. Officer Thompson near his patrol car, hand resting on belt in hollow authority, and Maya handcuffed, bleeding, traumatized. Something dangerous flickered across Angela's face. Mother's rage held in check only by military discipline. "Officer Thompson, not a question. A targeting lock. Release my daughter now." Thompson stood frozen. This wasn't supposed to happen. He tried to recover. "Ma'am, your daughter is under arrest for what?" Angela closed distance until directly in his face, somehow seeming to tower despite being slightly shorter. What probable cause? What evidence? What due process? Theft. Witness testimony. Witness testimony. Singular. No physical evidence, no footage reviewed, no property found, no Miranda rights, no guardian present. Thompson tried standing ground. "Ma'am, I need you to step back." Angela didn't move. "I'm Colonel Angela Thompson, United States Army. That's Captain Ramirez of Military Police. That's Lieutenant Carter from JAG Corps. We can do this 2 ways. Way 1, you uncuff my daughter now. Way 2, I call General Adams at Fort Jackson, who plays golf with your Chief Reynolds, and we discuss federal civil rights violations, assault of a military dependent under Title 10 USC 1408, and the pattern of abuse I'll find in your record." The crowd was silent. Thompson had gone pale. This was real. The witness was credible. Your protocol requires probable cause. Your protocol requires evidence. Your protocol requires treating citizens, especially minors, with basic dignity. Which part involves pushing a 12-year-old to the ground? Thompson had no answer. Captain Ramirez removed the handcuffs. Ramirez approached gently. "Hey there, sweetheart. Let's get these off. I'm Captain Ramirez. Your mom and I work together. You're safe now." The moment the cuffs came off, Maya threw herself into Angela's arms. Angela caught her, held tight, and for just a heartbeat, the colonel disappeared. "I've got you, baby. You're safe." "I'm here." "Mom, I didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted to buy you a birthday present." "I know, baby, I know." Angela held her daughter, then straightened. The colonel was back, and she was done being gentle. Angela stood with one hand on Maya's shoulder, comfort and protection. She faced Thompson, Karen, Brian. "Now let's establish facts. Officer Thompson, badge 2841. Did you review security footage before arresting my daughter?" "Yes or no?" Thompson shifted. "The witness testimony, yes or no?" "No." "Did you take statements from multiple witnesses?" "No." "Did you find stolen property on her person?" "No." "Did you perform a search based on consent or warrant?" Angela turned to Maya. "Baby, did you give consent? Did anyone explain you could refuse?" Maya shook her head. "Coerced compliance is not consent. Officer, did you read my daughter Miranda rights?" Silence. "Did you inform her of her right to have a guardian present?" More silence. "Did you allow her to make a phone call?" She tried. "Did you allow it?" "No." "Did you use physical force on a compliant minor?" Thompson flushed. She was resisting. She was asking for her mother. Angela pulled out her phone. "I have a recording of everything from when my daughter hit emergency call. Would you like me to play it for everyone or save it for the federal investigation?" Thompson went pale. Karen found her voice. "Excuse me, I'm the victim. She stole my bracelet." Angela turned with a look that made veteran soldiers check their gear. "Ma'am, when did you last see your bracelet?" "When I was in the store. It was on the counter when she walked in." "You're absolutely certain you didn't place it in your purse?" "Of course." "Lieutenant Carter, document that statement." Carter, typing on tablet, nodded. "Mrs. Karen Whitaker states with absolute certainty her bracelet was stolen by Maya Thompson." Documented. Angela turned to Brian. "Mr. Caldwell, you're the store manager. You called police based solely on Mrs. Whitaker accusation. She's a valued customer. That's not what I asked. Why did you immediately assume my daughter was guilty?" Brian looked at Maya, at Angela, at his shoes. He had no good answer. Or rather, he had an answer he couldn't say aloud. Angela let the silence stretch. "Mr. Caldwell, I need immediate access to your security system. I'm not sure I have authorization. Your store operates on federal leasing property. That makes it subject to federal oversight in civil rights matters. Lieutenant Carter can have a warrant in 12 minutes, or you cooperate now." 10 seconds. Brian made the only choice available. "I'll pull it up." The back office was cramped, now packed. Brian at his desk, hands shaking. Angela behind him, Maya beside her. Thompson near the door, wanting to be anywhere else. Ramirez and Carter flanked the setup. Karen had tried to stay outside, but Angela insisted. "You need to be here." Sofia Ramirez stood near the back. 11:01 a.m., Brian said, pointing. When Mrs. Whitaker came in, they watched silently. Karen entering demanding attention, Sofia helping, the necklace retrieved. Karen trying it on. "There's my bracelet," Karen said, pointing at the screen. "Right there." Indeed, Karen had removed her jewelry, setting it on the counter. The footage continued. Maya entered at 11:12 a.m., walked directly to a display case 15 F2 away. She never approached Karen's counter. Never came within reaching distance. "Note," Angela said calmly, "my daughter never approaches Mrs. Whitaker. She's minimum 15 F'd away at all times." They kept watching. Sophia helping Karen finalize purchase. Karen gathering items. Phone, sunglasses, keys. Then, clearly visible, Karen picked up her bracelet and dropped it into her purse. "Freeze frame," Carter said. Brian paused. Timestamp 11 hours, 16 minutes, and 23 seconds a.m. Mrs. Karen Whitaker places her bracelet in her purse. Absolute silence. Continue. Karen left at 11 hours, 17 minutes, and 45 seconds a.m. 28 seconds passed. Then Karen burst back in at 11 hours, 19 minutes, and 55 seconds a.m., already in alarm mode. "Stop." Angela turned to Karen. "At 11 hours, 16 minutes, and 23 seconds, you placed your bracelet in your purse. At 11 hours, 19 minutes, and 55 seconds, you returned to accuse my daughter. 2 minutes, 32 seconds. During that time, my daughter was visible on camera, making no movements toward the counter." She turned to Karen. "So, Mrs. Whitaker, where's your bracelet?" Karen's face went from confident to crimson. I must have. It was a mistake. You thought what? That you could accuse a 12-year-old black girl of theft because you misplaced your property? I didn't mean then. How did you mean it? Because you filed a false accusation that led to illegal detention, assault, and public humiliation of a child. Captain Ramirez had been busy. "Colonel, you need to see this." Angela reviewed his screen, jaw tightening. "Read it aloud, Captain." Ramirez cleared his throat. Karen Ann Whitaker, age 52. 4 similar accusations in the last 3 years, all against young people of color. First incident, February 2022. Accused 16-year-old Latino male of stealing wallet at restaurant. Security showed she left it at home. No charges against Mrs. Whitaker. Second, August 2022. Accused 19-year-old black male Jerome Washington of theft at grocery store. Items found in her car with receipt. Mr. Washington fired, never reinstated. No charges against Mrs. Whitaker. Third, March 2023. Accused 22-year-old black woman at DMV of threatening her. Multiple witnesses contradicted. Case dismissed. Fourth, January 2024. Accused 17-year-old black male of looking suspicious near her car. He was waiting for his mother. Also, a sealed complaint from Brookside Country Club about discriminatory remarks. Karen made a strangled sound. "You can't public records." "Ma'am," Ramirez said mildly. Angela turned to Karen. "You've done this before multiple times. Cost people jobs, traumatized children, face 0 consequences until today." "What else?" Angela asked Ramirez. "Mark Thompson, badge 2841. Official file shows 12 excessive force complaints, but cross-referencing federal databases." Ramirez took a breath. 23 complaints total, 11 informally resolved, settled with NDAs removed from official file, 9 from black or Latino individuals, 3 settlements totaling $47,000. Mandatory bias training ordered 2 years ago. He signed off, but training center has no attendance record. Thompson had gone very pale. 23 complaints, Angela said quietly. 23 times someone said you violated their rights, and the system protected you every time. Colonel Ramirez continued. Store manager Brian Caldwell filed 23 theft reports in 18 months, 19 against black customers, 2 convictions. That's an 89% false accusation rate. Sophia stepped forward, voice shaking but determined. He told me to watch certain customers. He gave me training materials, pictures of the type who steals, all black and brown people. He sent emails saying, "Watch those types. Don't let them browse unsupervised." I saved them because I thought I might need them someday. Carter's fingers flew. Miss Ramirez, would you provide those emails for federal investigation? Yes, absolutely. Angela's phone rang. General Adams, Colonel Thompson just got a call from Chief Reynolds wants to handle this quietly. Thoughts? Angela looked around at Thompson, at Karen, at the community gathering. Sir, I need this loud. This isn't about my daughter anymore. It's about every kid profiled, every complaint buried. Agreed. Sending full JAG team and Angela. Make them change. Yes, sir. Angela hung up. Chief Reynolds is on his way. Let's establish what's happening. She held up fingers, counting off. 1. Officer Thompson will be immediately suspended pending federal DOJ investigation. Every complaint, all 23 reviewed. Potential federal prosecution. 2. Your department implements immediate reforms. Body cameras on every officer. Automatic upload to independent server. 3. Independent Civilian Oversight Board with full investigatory powers. They review every use of force, every complaint. Findings are public. 4. Mandatory bias training every 6 months conducted externally, subject to audit. 5. Public database of all complaints, investigations, outcomes updated quarterly. Chief Reynolds arrived 20 minutes later. Did not look happy. Colonel Thompson, if we all just calm down, Chief Reynolds. Angela's voice cut through. Your officer assaulted my daughter on camera. Your department systematically covered up complaints. This isn't something that can be calmed down. With respect, the Army doesn't have authority, which is why I contacted the FBI Civil Rights Division. Lieutenant Carter. Carter stepped forward. Chief Reynolds, I have documented evidence of systematic civil rights violations. Emails showing you personally reviewed complaints against Thompson and marked them resolved without investigation. Also, records showing the city paid over $400,000 in excessive force settlements in 5 years. Yet not a single officer terminated. A voice from the crowd. 400,000? That's our tax money, Carter continued. I also have records of settlements with NDAs preventing victims from speaking publicly. That's not poor management. That's active cover-up. Angela continued relentlessly. Here's what's happening. Not negotiation. This is me informing you of consequences. She outlined the 5 points again, then added, This isn't a request. You cooperate, implement real changes, maybe salvage credibility, or you fight. And I make sure every camera, every reporter, every civil rights organization knows exactly what happened and how you responded. I will testify before Congress. I will make Brookside a case study in police misconduct. Your choice. 30 seconds. Reynolds looked at Thompson, sweating, at Karen on her phone, at Brian wishing for disappearance, at the crowd recording everything. We'll cooperate. You need assurances. You're not negotiating, you're complying. Your choice is not whether to change. It's whether you change voluntarily or through federal consent decree. A new figure entered. Judge Laura Bennett, elegant, commanding immediate attention. Judge Bennett, Angela said with respect. Colonel Thompson is correct, Bennett said, her voice carrying federal bench authority. As someone who will likely see these cases, let me be clear. I will not be lenient with civil rights violations involving children. Chief Reynolds, take the offer. Because if this goes to court, you're looking at consent decree, massive liability, career ending. Reynolds nodded, defeated. We'll implement the changes, all of them, tonight, Angela corrected. Detailed plan to Lieutenant Carter by midnight, and we'll be watching. Angela turned to her daughter. Come on, baby. Let's get that knee looked at. As they walked out through the crowd, someone started clapping. Then another. Then everyone was applauding for Maya's courage. Angela's fight for accountability finally demanded. Word had spread. 60 people recording live streaming. People who'd been silent were finding voices. Michael Hayes approached Angela. Ma'am, Colonel, I don't know if this helps, but 3 months ago the same officer stopped my son for matching a description, held him for 2 hours. My son was 15? They never apologized. Elena Martinez. He arrested my nephew last year, said he was loitering. My nephew was waiting for the bus after his target shift. A young woman. That woman pointing at Karen accused me of cutting in line at the post office last year. She called me people like you. I was mortified. Captain Ramirez was documenting every statement. Angela realized this is bigger than my daughter. This is a community that's been silenced. Karen tried to leave. Angela, ma'am, you're not going anywhere. You filed a false police report. That's a crime. Karen, I made a mistake. Angela, you made a choice and you've made it before. Her phone rang. General Adams again. Angela, just got another call from the chief. He wants to handle this quietly. What do you need, sir? I need this loud. This isn't about my daughter anymore. Every kid profiled, every complaint buried. You have my full support. I'm sending JAG team. And Angela, I'm proud of you. Angela gathered everyone. Thompson, Karen, Brian, Chief Reynolds now arrived, Internal Affairs representative. I want each of you to look at my daughter. Angela's voice was steel. Look at her. She's 12. She came here to buy a birthday present with money she saved for 6 months. And you, pointing at each person, traumatized her, violated her rights, assaulted her based on nothing but assumption. Chief Reynolds tried de-escalating. Colonel Thompson, I assure you, we take these allegations seriously. Do you? Then why does Thompson still have his badge after 23 complaints? Why has Karen never been charged for false reports? Those cases were complex. No, they were ignored. Because it was easier to silence victims than hold perpetrators accountable. Lieutenant Carter, Chief Reynolds, I have emails showing you personally reviewed Thompson's complaints and mark them resolved without investigation. Reynolds's face drained of color. Carter continued, I also have records showing the city paid $400,000 in settlements in 5 years, yet not a single officer fired. A council member in the crowd watching. What? We weren't told about this. Carter taxpayer funds quietly settled. NDA signed. Angela, here's what's happening. 1. Thompson suspended immediately pending federal investigation. 2. Department reforms, body cameras, oversight board, bias training, public database. 3. Karen charged with false police report and civil suit. 4. Brian and Eastwood Fine Jewelry undergo civil rights audit. 5. This becomes public record. Your choice is not whether this happens, it's whether you cooperate or get forced. Judge Bennett stepped forward. Chief Reynolds, take the offer in my courtroom. You'll lose. Reynolds cornered. We'll cooperate tonight. Plan by midnight. Brookside Medical Center's ER fast-tracked them. Dr. Emily Carter, kind-faced pediatric specialist, examined Maya with care. The knee, badly scraped, 2-in gash needing cleaning and butterfly bandages, deep bruising. The wrists, clear handcuff marks, abrasions, bruising, the palms, scrapes from falling. Nothing broken, Dr. Carter said gently, but impressive bruises for weeks. This knee needs proper care. It'll sting when I clean it. As she worked. Maya, how did this happen? Angela answered, controlled fury underlying calm. A police officer pushed my daughter to the ground for asking to call me. She'd been falsely accused, denied her rights, physically assaulted. Dr. Carter's hands paused briefly. I'm documenting everything, and I'm mandated to report suspected assault on a minor. Federal investigation is already underway, but yes, please document all evidence. Dr. Carter finished bandaging, then said seriously, physical wounds heal in weeks, but trauma doesn't always show up right away. Nightmares, anxiety in stores or around police, trouble sleeping, anger, sadness, all normal. She handed Angela a card. Therapists specializing in trauma, particularly children who've experienced law enforcement incidents. I strongly recommend an appointment. Sooner is better. Thank you. We will. In the car home, Maya was quiet. Then softly. Mom, why did they hate me? I was just existing. Angela wanted to lie to promise fairness, but she'd spent 20 years in the real world. I don't know, baby. I wish I could say this was rare, that good behavior always earns fair treatment. But there are people who will judge you before knowing you, who'll assume the worst because of skin color. Tears spilled. Then what's the point? Angela cupped her face. Because you don't be good for them, you be good for you. You'll be good because you know who you are, know your worth, even when others can't see it. And baby, you're not powerless. Yes, you'll face people like Karen, Thompson, Brian, but you'll also find people like Sophia who spoke up scared, like Michael Hayes who witnessed despite threats, like Carter, Ramirez, Judge Bennett who use power to help. And you, I have you always. But Maya, what happened today wasn't just about you. When we exposed this, we didn't just help you. We helped every person profiled at that mall, stopped by Thompson, discriminated against at that store. We're going to turn your pain into purpose, make change happen. Are you with me? Maya looked at her mother with building determination. I'm with you, Mom. The next 2 weeks moved with justice's momentum. Officer Mark Thompson, suspended without pay within 24 hours. DOJ investigation subpoenaed every report, complaint, email, footage. They found the pattern. Young people of color stopped, searched, arrested at statistically impossible rates. 23 complaints, not 12. 11 informally resolved with NDAs costing thousands, emails with explicitly racist language, incident reports not matching body camera footage. Within a month, grand jury indicted him. Assault on a minor. Civil rights violations under 18 U.S.C. Section 242, deprivation of rights, falsification of reports. He faced 10 years federal prison, pension frozen, police certification permanently revoked. Then came civil suits. Michael Hayes' son, Elena's nephew, 7 others joining class action against both Thompson and the city. Karen Whitaker, false police report charge, misdemeanor, up to 6 months jail and fine. But civil lawsuits terrified her. Maya's legal team filed comprehensive suit, defamation, emotional distress, civil rights violations. Discovery revealed social media with racist patterns. Previous accusations examined. Jerome Washington joined. Angela Thompson joined. 2 others came forward. Mediation happened quickly. Karen's lawyers saw evidence, security footage, recorded audio, pattern of accusations, social media, 60-plus witness videos, and advised immediate settlement. Karen paid $500,000 total damages, split among victims. More importantly, she agreed to filmed public apology acknowledging false accusation and harm caused. Video viewed over 5 million times. Her Brookside reputation destroyed. Country club revoked membership. Friends distanced themselves. She became a pariah. Some thought it was too harsh, but others remember Jerome Washington, who'd lost his job and still struggled. They remembered trauma inflicted on children. They remembered that Karen had never faced consequences until now. Brian Caldwell fired within a week. Civil rights audit revealed systematic discrimination, racial profiling, deliberate targeting. Store fine $250,000. Corporate implemented sweeping changes. Bias training quarterly. Evidence required before accusations. Internal discrimination reporting. Cameras with audio. Public apology. Brian faced civil suit from Maya. Pattern of false reports constituted civil rights violation. Settled $75,000, forcing him to sell his car, take loans, blacklisted in retail management. Word spread no major retailer would touch him. Sophia Ramirez promoted to manager with Ray's mandate to implement new policies. She became fierce advocate for fair treatment. Under her leadership, theft reports dropped to 0. Without racial profiling, the theft problem disappeared. She enrolled in law school part-time, aiming for civil rights attorney. Chief Reynolds tried to weather the storm. Couldn't when emails emerged showing he dismissed Thompson complaints, prioritized optics over justice, approved hidden settlements. Outcry was immediate. City Council emergency session chambers packed with citizens demanding accountability. Speakers told stories of being profiled, harassed, brutalized. Testimonies ran 4 hours. By week's end, Reynolds forced to resign. City Council voted unanimously to deny full retirement benefits. He faced potential criminal charges for obstruction and falsification. Mayor appointed interim chief, a black woman with strong civil rights background with mandate to clean house. 3 months after that terrible Tuesday, Brookside looked different, not just cosmetically, structurally, culturally, and actual accountability mechanisms. Police department underwent complete overhaul. Federally mandated DOJ overseen. Body cameras. Every officer wore cameras that couldn't be turned off during public interactions. Failsafe attempted disabling sent immediate signal to Oversight Board. Footage auto-uploaded before deletion. Malfunctions triggered automatic investigation and suspension. Civilian Oversight Board. 7 members. No law enforcement backgrounds. Majority people of color. Real power subpoena authority. Review all internal investigations. Recommend termination. Refer criminal prosecution. Meetings public. Live streamed. Findings published online. Complaint system. Complaints went directly to Oversight Board through independent reporting. Complainants received regular updates. No more NDAs. All complaints and outcomes became public record. Names redacted for victim privacy who wanted it. 3 strikes, 3 valid complaints meant automatic termination. No exceptions, appeals, or settlements. First 3 months, 4 officers terminated. Training bias training mandatory every 6 months. External experts from civil rights organizations conducting not checkbox exercise. Officers' past assessments demonstrated change behavior. Training included community members sharing experiences, forcing officers to confront real-world impact. Public database. Comprehensive database tracking every use of force, every complaint, every investigation, every outcome. Updated quarterly, searchable, accessible to anyone. Beyond law enforcement changes rippled through community. Business district bias training required for all Eastwood Mall businesses. Fair Treatment Certification Program. Businesses passing regular audits displayed certification. Anonymous discrimination reporting. Regular civil rights audits. Community resources. Monthly Know Your Rights workshops teaching constitutional protections. Legal aid hotline staffed by volunteer lawyers. Mental health services for discrimination victims. Youth advocacy program funded by settlement money. Educational initiatives. Civil rights curriculum in all Brookside schools. Student Oversight Committee for Discrimination Reporting. Regular civil rights leader visits. Safe bias incident reporting. The changes weren't just local. Brookside case became nationally studied model. 5 neighboring cities implemented similar reforms. 10 more contacted Angela for advice. Case cited in 3 congressional hearings. Colonel Angela Thompson testified before Congress about systematic racism in law enforcement and need for federal oversight. She accepted bringing Maya. Standing before House Judiciary Committee, Angela spoke powerfully about her daughter's experience, her brother's experience decades earlier, the pattern connecting them, why real reform required structural change, mandatory oversight, actual consequences. Testimony went viral. Within a week, 15 more cities committed to reform. 3 states introduced legislation based on Brookside model. Brookside Community Center was packed on a Friday evening in mid-December. Over 200 people filled the 6th monthly Know Your Rights workshop, first co-hosted by Colonel Angela Thompson and Maya. Angela stood at the podium in civilian clothes, jeans, and Tuskegee Airman t-shirt, deliberately approachable. Maya stood beside her, casual clothes, more confident than 6 months ago, but still sometimes glancing at her mother for reassurance. They saw familiar faces. Michael Hayes, now on oversight board. Elena Martinez, nephew compensated. Sophia Ramirez, thriving as manager. Dr. Carter, Judge Bennett, new faces too. Teenagers, parents preparing children, people with their own discrimination experiences wanting to learn. "Thank you for coming," Angela began warmly. "6 months ago, my daughter experienced something no child should." Maya stepped to the microphone, Angela squeezing her hand before stepping back. I was scared. Really scared. Completely helpless, Maya said, voice steadier than Angela dared hope. For a while I had nightmares every night, afraid to go outside, into stores, around police, trouble going to school. Her voice wavered but pushed through. I saw a therapist. Dr. Chen helped me understand that what I felt, fear, anger, shame, all normal. My brain protecting me from being hurt again. But she also helped me understand I couldn't let fear control my life. Maya straightened. I learned something important. Even when the system fails you, when people supposed to protect you hurt you, you have rights, you have a voice, you have worth, and you don't have to face it alone. She looked at young people her age. If you're like me, young, black, or brown, ever felt the world sees you as threat instead of person, you're not alone, and things can change. They won't change overnight. Won't change easily, but they can change. Angela returned. My daughter taught me something. Our children shouldn't have to be this brave. Shouldn't have to know constitutional rights by heart to survive shopping. Shouldn't have to be perfect to deserve basic dignity. But until we fix the system completely, change culture, hold people accountable, we need to arm them with knowledge and support. They went through the workshop. Rights during police encounters, documenting discrimination, getting legal help, filing effective complaints, community support systems. They role-played scenarios step by step. During Q&A, a young black man asked, "How do we know changes are real?" Angela nodded. That's the right question. Answer, we have to keep watching. Can't let up. Stay involved, serve on boards, attend meetings, file complaints, support each other, vote for reform prioritizing leaders. Change doesn't happen because of one person or case. It happens because communities demand it. Michael Hayes stood. I'm serving on oversight board now. Hard work. We review every use of force, every complaint. We take responsibility seriously. We've recommended discipline for 6 officers in 3 months. 2 terminated. Culture is changing slowly, but changing. Sophia raised her hand. I'm back in school part-time studying law. Want to become civil rights attorney? What happened with Maya? What Colonel Thompson did showed me the system can be changed from within. You just need people willing to fight. A middle-aged white woman stood, voice shaking. I'm Lisa Thompson. My son was that officer, Mark Thompson. I want to say I'm so sorry for what he did, the pain he caused. Watching all this, seeing evidence, hearing from victims broke my heart, but opened my eyes. I was part of the problem, making excuses. I'm here to learn to do better. Silence. Then Angela spoke gently but firmly. Mrs. Thompson, thank you for coming, for being willing to listen and learn. That takes courage. I hope you'll continue coming, continue learning. Maybe help other parents understand raising children who see everyone as worthy of dignity. Mrs. Thompson nodded, tears in her eyes, and sat. A 9-year-old girl with braids raised her hand shyly. My name is Aisha. Name. I saw the videos. I was really scared. My mom works 2 jobs, and I thought if something happened to me, she couldn't come like Maya's mom. Maya knelt to Aisha's level. Aisha, Your mom loves you just as much as mine loves me. Truth is, even though my mom's a colonel with a helicopter, that's not why we won. We won because people like Mr. Hayes, Miss Ramirez, Judge Bennett stood up. Because 60 people recorded and refused to let it be covered up because community came together. She took Aisha's hand. See that hotline number? You can call anytime. And there are people now, Mr. Hayes on the board. Pro bono lawyers. People like my mom and me. Watching to make sure officers do right. You're not alone. None of us are alone anymore. Aisha smiled through tears, hugged Maya quickly, ran back to her mother. Workshop continued another hour. By end, 30 volunteers signed up, 15 scheduled legal aid appointments, 5 asked about oversight board. Change was happening. Real change. Slow. Sometimes frustratingly slow, but real. That night, Angela and Maya sat on their back porch looking at stars. It had taken months to return to this ritual. For a long time, Maya hadn't wanted to be outside after dark. But therapy helped. Time helped. Angela's presence helped most. "Mom?" Maya asked quietly in the darkness. "Yeah, baby. Do you think things will really change, or will people forget?" Angela considered carefully. Some people will forget, that's human nature. When spotlight moves to the next crisis, some will try sliding back. That's why we can't let up. Keep attending meetings, monitoring data, filing complaints. She squeezed Maya's hand. But something fundamental shifted because of you. Because you stood up, knew your rights, refused silence. People saw what the system really looks like. Not theoretical discrimination, not statistics, but a real 12-year-old brutalized on camera. That's powerful. That changes hearts as well as policies. Maya touched the bracelet. Never taken off since. "I'm glad you gave me this. Even though it caused trouble, I'm glad. It meant you could verify who I was. Meant you could come. You know what I learned? That bracelet didn't make you worthy of protection. Your humanity did. The bracelet just helped me prove it to people who should have believed you from the start. But baby, with or without that bracelet, with or without me, you are worthy of respect. Never forget that." Comfortable silence. Stars constant and beautiful. "Mom, I've been thinking about what Dr. Chen said, about finding purpose in pain, about how the hardest things can define us in good ways if we choose to use them that way. What are you thinking? I want to keep doing workshops, keep telling my story, because if it helps even one kid feel less alone, if it stops even one person from being hurt like I was, then maybe it wasn't for nothing." Angela pulled her daughter into a hug, heart full of pride, love, fierce protectiveness. "You're going to change the world, baby. You already have. We're going to change it together. Together. Always together." Maya's story isn't unique. Right now, somewhere, a child is being profiled, a teenager stopped for matching a description, an adult denied service because of skin color, someone's rights being violated while bystanders film but don't intervene. Every day, people face discrimination, false accusations, abuse of power. The difference in Maya's case, she had someone who could fight back, someone who knew the system, had power and resources to demand accountability. But here's what we must understand. Not everyone has a Colonel Angela Thompson. Not everyone has a helicopter rank, connections, legal knowledge, resources to force change. That's why it's on all of us as community, as citizens, as human beings. We must become Colonel Angela Thompsons for each other. When you see someone profiled, speak up. Don't just film document. Yes, but intervene if safe. Be Michael Hayes, willing to witness despite threats. When you have power on a jury in authority, as manager, as person with privilege, use it to protect rather than oppress. Be Sofia Ramirez, finding your voice scared. When you see injustice, refuse silence, call it out, report it, Support victims. Demand accountability. Be part of oversight, monitoring, constant pressure, keeping systems honest. Because the next Maya might not have someone to save her unless we become that someone. So I ask you now, have you witnessed something like this and stayed silent? Have you seen someone profiled, discriminated against, falsely accused? What would you do if it was your child, your family, your friend? And more importantly, what will you do next time you see it happening to someone else? Will you be Karen Whitaker weaponizing assumptions? Will you be Officer Thompson using authority to oppress? Will you be the person who films but never intervenes? Or will you be Michael Hayes stepping forward despite risk? Will you be Sofia Ramirez finding courage to speak truth? Will you be Judge Bennett using position to demand accountability? Will you be the person who says, "This is wrong, and I won't be silent anymore"? The choice is yours, but make no mistake, silence is a choice too, and silence is compliance. 6 months after Maya's ordeal, Brookside has changed. Not perfectly, not completely. Still problems, biases, resistance. Change is messy and incomplete and ongoing, but 4 officers terminated for misconduct, 3 policies rewritten, 7 people compensated for past injustices, 15 families helped by legal aid, 50 young people learned their rights, and in Brookside and 5 other cities, children can walk into stores without assumed guilt. Teenagers can wait for buses without harassment. Parents can send kids shopping without terror. That's not everything, but it's something. And it happened because one 12-year-old knew her rights, one mother refused to accept injustice, and one community decided enough was enough. If this story moved you, made you angry, gave you hope, made you think, don't just scroll past. Share it. Talk about it with family, friends, community. If you see discrimination in your town, stores, police department, say something, do something. And if you've experienced something similar, your voice matters. Your story matters. You're not alone. Drop a comment. Tell us where you're watching from. Have you or someone you love experienced something like this? Hit that like button if you believe in justice. Real justice. Subscribe for more stories where truth wins over prejudice. Courage defeats corruption. Regular people make extraordinary stands. Share this video because the more people who see what really happens, the harder for systems to hide it. The more people who understand their rights, the harder to violate them. The more people who demand accountability, the harder to escape consequences. Remember, change doesn't happen because of one person. It happens because of all of us, because we refuse to accept that's just how things are, because we stand together and say no more. Stand up. Speak up. Because silence is compliance. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching until the end. Thank you for caring enough to hear Maya's story. Now go out there and be someone's Colonel Angela Thompson. Be the person who stands up. Be the person who speaks out. Be the person who refuses to let injustice hide in shadows. Because somewhere right now, a child like Maya needs someone like you. Will you be there?